Porzingis drives and finishes. Released it a little early.
It doesn't look like the stage is too big for this 20-year-old Latvian player.
Kristaps Porzingis has emerged as one of the NBA's most intriguing superstars over the last decade. With a story unlike any other players in the league, the unicorn has navigated early career setbacks and criticism to now cement himself as a centerpiece for the storied Boston Celtics franchise as they chase down another championship. From his origins playing on the beaches of a small town in Latvia to gracing the fame under the bright lights of Madison Square Garden and becoming an NBA All-Star, Porzingis is accustomed to overcoming the odds. His perseverance now has him positioned to validate himself as a dynamic franchise cornerstone for years to come. Let's check out more. Early life and entry into basketball. Kristaps Porzingis grew up in Liepāja, Latvia, a tiny coastal town on the Baltic Sea with a population barely over 70,000. His first exposure to basketball came watching his two older brothers play. Inspired to follow in their footsteps, Porzingis started playing organized basketball himself around 6 or 7 years old. By 15 years old, Porzingis was spotted by European scouts who recognized his budding potential. At their urging, a teenage Porzingis made the difficult decision to move away from home to Spain in order to accelerate his development. That prepared Porzingis well for the later transition into the limelight of the NBA. Transition to America and NBA draft. Over the next several years, excelling in Spain's competitive ACB league, Porzingis evolved into one of the most intriguing overseas prospects leading up to the 2015 NBA draft. Enthralled by his rare mobility and shooting touch at 7 feet tall, Porzingis earned lofty comparisons to German legend Dirk Nowitzki, along with the mythical nickname the Unicorn. In New York and early success. The boos that rained down as Adam Silver first uttered the name Kristaps Porzingis to the Knicks at the draft instantly evaporated once he actually stepped foot on the floor. In preseason action at Madison Square Garden, the 19-year-old Porzingis burst onto the scene with flashy double-doubles that showcased the special talent he could grow into. Fans who once lambasted the pick were now excitedly dreaming of franchise salvation. In year 2, Porzingis leveled up into bona fide stardom, announcing his arrival in historic fashion at the All-Star Game in New Orleans. Not only did he become the first Knick since Patrick Ewing in 2000 to make an All-Star team, but Porzingis dazzled in the nationally televised showcase by drilling 7 three-pointers while being serenaded with chants of MVP from the crowd. He led the Knicks back to the playoffs while averaging over 20 points and 2 blocks, looking every bit the franchise pillar to build their future around. At home games, fans flaunted Latvian flags and chanted KP, KP in celebration of their new beloved star. Setback and exit. Tragically, the euphoria around Porzingis in New York skidded to a halt when he tore his ACL just months after his first All-Star appearance in 2018. While rehabbing the injury, underlying issues between Porzingis' inner circle and Knicks management percolated under the surface, rooted in disagreements around his recovery plan and restricted free agency. Tension reached a tipping point in early 2019. After Porzingis' expressed dissatisfaction over the culture and direction of the franchise, the Knicks dealt him abruptly to Dallas. Just like that, the fairy tale wiped away, replaced by bitterness on both sides. Rebirth in Dallas. In Dallas, alongside European phenom Luka Doncic, Porzingis finally landed in a stable environment to reach his all-NBA potential. After sitting out another year rehabbing in 2018-2019, Porzingis looked rejuvenated at the start of the next season. He earned his second All-Star selection while averaging over 20 points and 9 rebounds as Dallas's second option behind Doncic. However, his elation was again derailed by injury. After strong performances throughout Dallas' 2020 playoff series against the LA Clippers, Porzingis unfortunately aggravated his right knee, forcing him to miss the final 3 games. His absence crippled their hopes for advancing further. Resurgence in Washington. Landing in Washington alongside Bradley Beal, Porzingis thrived with refreshed life being handed a larger offensive role. Over the next season and a half, he produced the finest statistical outputs of his career, nearly averaging 25 points per game in 2021-2022, highlighted by multiple 40-point explosions. Porzingis looked every part the dominant two-way unicorn that once enthralled New York. In Washington, Porzingis rebuilt his value and confidence, playing freely without the weighty expectations that burdened him in New York and Dallas. New opportunity in Boston. Eager for a fresh start and a chance to contend, Porzingis leveraged his bounce-back years to facilitate a move to the Boston Celtics this past off-season. Surrounded by an established core led by young MVP candidate Jason Tatum, Porzingis arrived to reinforce Boston's championship aspirations. Now, 12 games into his Celtics career at the time of writing, Porzingis is blending in seamlessly so far, averaging 17 points on 50% shooting. Porzingis finally has a supporting cast and culture conducive to winning big on the game's biggest stages. Lifestyle and looking ahead. During his tumultuous yet nonetheless highly successful NBA journey thus far, Porzingis has earned over $105 million in NBA salary alone to build a lavish lifestyle away from the court. Residing outside Madrid in the off-season, he owns a stunning multi-million-dollar mansion complete with extravagances. To fund his affinity for globetrotting in style, Porzingis invested $250,000 customizing a decked-out Mercedes Sprinter van outfitted like a personal hotel room. Amongst his fleet of sports cars, Porzingis is known to cruise around Los Angeles in European brands like Bentleys when stateside, living in the NBA superstar lifestyle. Still boasting prime years ahead even after many ups and downs, don't expect Porzingis' unlikely path to superstardom internationally or enjoying his fortune to slow anytime soon. With his confidence renewed playing for a perennial contender in a prominent system that caters to his strengths, Porzingis finally looks to have found his NBA home in Boston. Few players can match the twists and turns of his dramatic story, yet through every setback, Porzingis relentlessly overcomes slights to reach the soaring heights his generational combination of size and skill always portended capable of. Kristaps Porzingis' unique story epitomizes the high drama of navigating basketball stardom. His NBA path has been lined with both signature moments of brilliance and frustration over unmet expectations. However, the Latvian's resiliency has always shone through. Kristaps Porzingis has emerged as a Boston Celtic with championship aspirations. If he can stay healthy alongside Jason Tatum, his unicorn skill set may be the missing piece to Banner 18. From Latvia to injuries and everywhere in between, Porzingis' path has been anything but linear. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed his incredible story. There's much left to be written for this 7'3" superstar.